Are you curious about animal medicine and connecting with all the different animals out there? I'm Lily from Brown Bear Herbs, and I will be sharing with you animal essences, which are made through a non-violent way of collecting energy in water from animals. Twice a month, we'll be meditating with an unknown animal essence and sharing our experiences, and then I will be summarizing and sharing the observations we've had, as well as information in general about the animals' medicine from folklore, their behavior, and lifestyle. This is a really fun way to get more in touch with animals and your intuition and ability to experience things on a subtle level so that you can learn from the animal world. But you can transfer these ways of being and receiving information to understanding all sorts of different things, from daily interactions with humans to working with plant medicine and guides, all sorts of stuff. So I expect this to be lots of fun. And I'll just share a little bit about why I am so excited about this. About 25 years ago, time flies, I was having an undiagnosed health disorder that was causing me to sleep a lot. And I strongly feel that, if you can't see, all of a sudden that energy is still there, and all of a sudden you're going to hear more, or you're going to smell more, all that, and you're going to feel more with your skin. Similarly, if you are sleeping a lot, the energy of your consciousness, your spirit is still there, but it's being more active in dream time. So I started to have a lot of dreams about animals, where animals would come to me. And also that started to shift in my waking time, and I started to have a lot more experiences with animals in the waking time too. Because I was receiving this medicine or these communications from animals, I started to really think about, what does it mean? What is the difference between seeing 8 hawks today and, a dozen owls on a different day? Is it just the weather? It didn't seem like it. It seemed like there were definitely patterns and energies going on in my life, and this was a way that my guides and other supportive energies in nature, in the cosmos, could communicate with me and support me and help me, which is what I hope for everyone. I did have some great help from teachings, mostly by Matthew Wood, and books by Ted Andrews and a few other people, but mostly I developed my own strategies for meditating with animals and inviting animals into my life, working to deepen connections that had started, and most importantly, learning what they had to share with me, which sometimes was really obvious, something I had already read about in books, and then other times it was a little bit more playful. I'm thinking of deer right now. I spent a lot of time working with deer because I was fascinated by, first of all, seeing deer in my neighborhood and having good experiences with them. For example, I went outside with my yappy dog that I had at the time in the evening, and then a deer started walking up the alley and coming out to the street, and my dog did what he does best. And he started yelling, rah, 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 rah. The deer froze. So the deer is in freeze mode, and we all know that when deers are in freeze mode, that's not their safest with humans, because with a predator animal besides humans, they might be safer because the animal's not going to see them because they're not moving. But with humans and my dog and cars, it's not protecting the deer. So I started doing mantras just to express peace and safety, and the deer immediately relaxed and just started to continue their walk. And everything's fine. My dog was on a leash, so that part was fine too. When I read about deer, I mostly read about, it was about gently proceeding in life and just this idea of gentleness. And I was not raised with the idea of gentleness. And so I was like, this is fascinating. And so I really leaned into deer and did a lot of spiritual work with deer and had many, many dreams of deer and visitations. But and most of it was about this idea of gentleness, but not all of it. I remember I was like walking through my neighborhood and the deer was like, don't forget to like pick up your knees and show off your sexy legs. And I was like, that is so hilarious, because you know what, deer are trying to reproduce and have fun, and they do have really long, elegant legs, and they are showing off their rear end with those tails up high. Different messages come through, and it might be what's like very obvious from like stuff you read, or it might be about different aspects of their life. Each animal gives an opportunity for a relationship and learning more deeply about yourself and them, and the greater connection between animals and humans, and animals and each other, animals in the natural world. Where do essences come in? So recently I was trying to think, how can I make this medicine more accessible to people, because we don't live surrounded by animals often these days. Well, maybe squirrels and little birdies. And many people do not focus very much on their dreaming. Essences are made by infusing water with the energy only of an animal. So in a peaceful, non-invasive way, essence makers would like introduce water into the environment of an animal or animal group and collect the energy of like playing dolphins in that water, or wild horses, or hawk, or ant energy near a little ant colony, with them like collecting sugar and building ant hills. It's non-invasive and it's just energy, so no animals are hurt in the process. And I am super excited about what I'm experiencing. I feel like it's shifting my consciousness. For example, when I worked with Fox Essence, I found that my consciousness began shifting, so that I was much more tuned into the beings in my immediate sphere. So I became much more aware of how my immediate family members and my dog were doing energetically, like at all times. And then when I took a drop of bat essence, a hearing problem that I've been having for like a year or so since an accident immediately went away. And I am so grateful for these amazing pollinators in the world, and now I am like blown away by what essences can do. So each experience is different, and I will say that I think that the essences of animals can shift the way that we think and interact in our communities by giving us new and novel strategies and perception. So this is opening up a window to a new way of looking at the world that's not very easily accessed through other forms of working with animals in my many years now of experience. So I invite you to check out the club. The link is below, and join it. You'd get 2 essences a month, and I encourage you to take them for 5 days or so before the meeting, and then also in the meeting during the meditation, because I feel like with essences, it's much more subtle, and you might notice things over those 5 days, and then have a different type of experience, different level of experience when you're meditating with the group, and then sharing experiences. And you can also, if you don't have a good schedule for meeting with the group or things come up, you can also do this on your own and then join through the blog, community blog at brownbearherbs.com. With my bat experience alone, I'm just like super excited. It also changed some other things about how I was interacting with people and made other people interact with me different, which is why I really feel like it's important to take the essences for some days leading up to the group meditation, because which will be on Zoom, because you might start to, experience like, oh, I'm really honoring time for myself more. I just naturally took more time out for me, or, and I did things to make myself more comfortable, or I felt way more playful, or people started coming up to me and they were just really excited to interact with me and I felt seen, or whatever it is. essences can definitely change how you are internally, your energy, but also how the world is interacting with you. So I'm really excited about it. And of course, Halloween is a time when we're thinking about connecting with our shadow selves, and certain animals are part of that mysterious world, like bats and wolves and cat. I think it's time to reconsider where there's areas that these animals aren't just like base creatures, but they have intelligence that they can share with us. They just don't happen to be as materialistically oriented in this lifetime. I look forward to hearing about your experiences and learning about the animals too. So learn more at brownbearherbs.com, and I hope you have a great day.